Americans have had their first look at President-elect Joe Biden's proposed national security team. In rolling out his staff picks, including top posts for State Department and Department of Homeland Security, Biden said the nominees show experience and leadership.
It's a team that will keep our country and our people safe and secure. And it's a team that reflects the fact that America is back, ready to lead the world, not retreat from it. Once again, sit at the head of the table, ready to confront our adversaries and not reject our allies.
If confirmed by the Senate, Alejandro Mayorkas will be the first Latino Homeland Security boss, and Avril Haines the first female director of national intelligence. Incumbent Donald Trump is still refusing to concede the election to Joe Biden. A surprise presser was thought to be an opportunity, but instead Mr. Trump hailed the Dow Jones, passing the 30,000 mark.
That's a sacred number, 30,000. Nobody thought they'd ever see it. That's the 9th time since the beginning of 2020, and it's the 48th time that we've broken records during the Trump administration.
The markets may have been reacting to much-needed certainty following Trump allowing the transition to Biden to begin. As the president performed the traditional pardoning of a Thanksgiving turkey, he knows most states have now certified the vote for Biden.
Well, it seemed to be a little bit shaky, obviously, when we had the transition that was supposed to have happened starting 3 weeks ago, and we're still in the process of getting through that transition, all the way up until January 20th, of course, when President-elect Biden is inaugurated as President of the United States. But along that way, we've seen some of the areas where there can be weaknesses in the transition process. One of those areas is the electors and how the president flew them into Washington, the electors from Michigan, and tried to persuade them possibly not to vote the will of the people in that state. Of course, if they did that, then that would reverse the election results altogether, even though the Electoral College would have dictated that the electors would vote for President-elect Biden as the votes were counted. Well, if the electors did not vote the will of the people, they could have gone to the president for a re-election bid. And that's part of the area that many people are looking at to say, well, maybe we should take a pause here and analyze this area. Not only that, what areas and how the president dissected different parts of the country as far as challenging the vote was also of concern. Many of the areas that the president targeted were urban areas. Where are the urban areas in these states? Well, there are a lot of these areas where a lot of Black Americans live. Disenfranchising a lot of Black Americans, or potentially disenfranchising many Black Americans from the vote, disaffecting them from the election process. And I think, again, another area of concern for Americans today.
Donald Trump has actually been keeping a very low profile, particularly in person, since the election. He's still being just as vocal on Twitter, which isn't surprising. But he did make a visit yesterday to the White House briefing room, which was slightly bizarre. Just walk us through what happened.
Well, he kind of walked in unexpectedly and only spoke for about 64 to 66 seconds, just over a minute. He praised the work that his administration did when it came to the Dow and how it hit a 30,000 point mark. He said this broke a record. And then he kind of stumbled through his language a little bit, saying that it was the 9th time that it had happened this year. Of course, if it was the 9th time that it happened, then it's not really breaking a record for the first time. But then he tried to collect himself and saying that it's the 9th record, apparently, that the Trump administration has accomplished this year among 48 various records throughout the presidency. Now, what records those were, the president did not go into detail. What specifically was accomplished during these 48 apparent goals that were set, or records that were set, again, very unclear. But the other part that the president talked about was the vaccine, and the vaccine coming out in record time. Now, again, there is no connection to the presidency and the speed at which of the vaccine has been released. And again, the president not really providing many details on that either. As quickly as he came in is as quickly as he left the room again, while reporters shouted questions at him, expressing their frustration that the Trump administration, that the president himself